Welcome to a new deep dive. Usually when you think of the space race, you picture billionaires in a measuring contest, right?
Yeah,
Just launching these massive
right. Yeah,
rockets.
the whole Saturn V style competition.
Exactly. But if you look at this document we have today, Mexico y el Derecho Espacial, you see a total curveball. I mean, Mexico isn't trying to compete with those billionaires to build the next big rocket.
No, not at all.
Instead, they're quietly building the highly profitable legal and manufacturing backbone of space.
So, okay, let's unpack this because they are doing it entirely through international and administrative law.
Yeah, they've developed a very deliberate two-pronged strategy to engage with these titans of the space industry. It essentially splits into two different rule books.
Right, the government versus the commercial one.
Exactly. So first, you have the government-to-government route with NASA. Mexico signed the Artemis Accords, establishing a framework for transparency and, good behavior in space.
Right. And because they are part of that diplomatic club, they use their technology transfer agency, the ATDT, to access shared intellectual property and satellite data for science.
Which completely bypasses the massive commercial license fees they'd normally have to pay.
Exactly, they get it for free.
Wow. So it's like holding a diplomatic passport for NASA, but then using a corporate vendor badge when dealing with private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Because once you shift to the commercial side, the rules completely change to mercantile and administrative law.
Right.
And what's fascinating here is how Mexico cleverly leverages what they already control on the ground to dictate terms up in space.
Like their radio spectrum.
Right, take their telecom institute, the IFT. If SpaceX wants to beam Starlink internet down to Mexican customers, they absolutely need Mexico to grant them access to its radio frequencies.
Oh, so it's a huge bottleneck.
A total bottleneck. And
Yeah.
Mexico uses that as leverage. They basically say, well, we'll give you the frequency concession, but in exchange, you have to sign tech transfer agreements.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you have to source your aerospace components from our manufacturing hubs in the Querétaro and Chihuahua corridor. So they trade frequency access for a permanent seat at the commercial table.
Okay, wait, I have to push back here.
Sure.
Because forcing companies to manufacture in Chihuahua and signing NDAs, I mean, that sounds great for corporate ledgers.
Yeah.
But wait, so is this space strategy actually just a cleverly disguised infrastructure and education program? How does this help the average citizen listening to this?
Well, look at how that Starlink concession is actually applied.
Okay.
By bringing SpaceX into the fold, Mexico is using orbital infrastructure to fulfill the constitutional right to broadband internet.
Oh, closing the rural digital divide.
Exactly. They're doing it rapidly without having to spend decades and, billions of pesos laying physical fiber optic cables across mountains and deserts.
Right, that makes total sense for telecom. But they're also pulling down a massive amount of free real-time NASA imagery too, right?
Yes, through SCMI, their Earth Observation Data System.
Right, and they use that raw satellite feed to monitor wildfires, track hurricanes, and predict agricultural droughts. That allows local governments to take preventive action, which saves millions.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, they use that same observation tech for national security,
Right, to monitor borders and natural resources from above.
which completely replaces incredibly expensive physical security patrols. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the real value of the space race in 2026 is solving Earth's problems.
Yeah,
And there's this really powerful multiplier effect happening on the ground.
what do you mean?
Well, NASA-trained Mexican engineers are taking all those commercial aerospace standards they learn, returning home, and launching their own high-paying aerospace startup,
Oh, nice.
which boosts the tax base and anchors foreign investment directly into the local economy.
So what does this all mean? Basically, Mexico's 2026 strategy is a masterclass in low-risk, high-reward economics. They bypass the risk of a billion-dollar rocket exploding on a launch pad.
Yeah, they don't even need to build the rocket.
Exactly. They just need to become the essential legal and tech support in the global supply chain. It's
Yeah.
like they aren't trying to build the next iPhone. They are just making sure they hold the patent on the charging cable everyone has to use.
Right, supplying the legal frameworks and the certified components that the entire space rush depends on to function.
Which leaves you with something to really think about. If a nation can secure its future in the space economy without ever launching a single rocket of its own, what other trillion-dollar industries could be quietly conquered simply through smart legal and supply chain positioning?